Around 400 government officials took their oath before President Rodrigo Duterte in Malacanang Palace's Heroes Hall earlier today. Among the government officials who were sworn in were GSIS Chief Francisco Duque, Presidential Advisor for Revenue Narciso Santiago, and MTRCB Chair Rachel Arenas. Meanwhile, Philippine Councilors League officers also attended the mass oath-taking. In his speech, President Duterte reminded newly installed government officials to remain honest and efficient in their work and stressed that they should not be attached to any whiff of corruption and should just leave the office otherwise. Duterte also underscored his zero tolerance on corruption, noting that he already removed some 92 government officials linked to corruption.
Ilang pinaalis ko na sa gobyerno, marami na, about 92, especially yung mga regulatory boards. Nandyan yung talagang pigaan sa korupsyon.
Last month, the president has announced the removal of former National Irrigation Administration Chief Peter Lavinia, who is his staunch supporter and one of his good friends since his stint as a mayor in Davao City for allegedly receiving kickbacks from NIA contractors. However, Lavinia denied the allegations and submitted a resignation letter, stressing that he does not mind being the sacrificial lamb of the administration.
Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano filed a supplemental impeachment complaint against President Rodrigo Duterte before the office of the Secretary General at the House of Representatives today. Alejano said Duterte could be impeached for betrayal of public trust and culpable violations of the Constitution for his alleged secret deals with China.
Matapos ang pag-aaral ng kaso, ngayong araw po ay naghain kami ng supplemental complaint affidavit upang papanagutin ng Pangulo ayon sa sumusunod na karagdagang basihan. Respondent Rodrigo Roa Duterte betrayed the public trust reposed upon him, culpably violated the Constitution, and committed the high crime of dereliction of his sworn duty as President when he utterly failed and or refused to assert the country's exclusive sovereign rights and maritime rights and territorial claims over Benham Rise and Panatag Shoal and the rest of the West Philippine Sea.
The complaint focuses on Duterte's alleged negligence for allowing Chinese vessels to conduct research around Benham Rise. Alejano also noted that the president's current stance on the country's territorial claims was far-fetched from his campaign promises, noting that the latter has repeatedly promised to defend the Philippines' sovereign rights from China and even vowed to personally visit the Spratlys to assert the country's sovereignty. Meanwhile, Alejano also told Presidential Legal Counsel Attorney Salvador Panelo to read the impeachment complaint before commenting that it is nonsense and pure publicity. Alejano filed the first impeachment complaint against the president 2 weeks ago for alleged culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, graft and corruption, betrayal of public trust, and committing other high crimes which are grounds for impeachment under the Constitution. The senators have expressed varying opinions on the latest statement of President Rodrigo Duterte, reiterating his promise to protect law enforcers implicated in crimes while in line of duty in his administration's war on illegal drugs. Senator Antonio Trillanes said that it is another proof that the killings in the country are state-sponsored. Trillanes has also warned policemen who will follow Duterte's supposed illegal orders that they will one day answer for the crimes they committed to further the administration's war on drugs. For Senator Bam Aquino's part, he said Duterte's promise was alarming, noting that it is an indication that there are people who are above the law. Meanwhile, Senator Panfilo Lacson opted to give an advice to the 19 policemen who were charged and arrested in connection with the November 2016 killing of former Albuera Leyte Mayor Rolando Espinosa Sr. Lacson, who is also a former head of the Philippine National Police, said they should not rely heavily on the president's promise and rather comply with the law, noting that it is not easy to grant a presidential pardon.
Pernia said they were able to agree on 14 projects, including the big infrastructure development plans, which include a speed train, which will be the first bullet train in the country that will connect Subic and Zambales, Clark and Pampanga, as well as the commuter rail that will connect Tutuban in Manila and Los Baños in Laguna, and the Metro Manila subway system. On March 27, Filipino cabinet officials met with their Japanese counterparts in Tokyo to discuss a number of infra projects that will be implemented in the country. The grant amounting to 340 million pesos will be allotted to finance the improvement of 6 electric cooperatives in Mindanao, particularly in the areas of Sulu, Lanao del Sur, Tawi-Tawi, Siasi Island, and Maguindanao. NEDA Secretary Ernesto Pernia said that the initial phase of the project can begin on the first quarter of the year or before the end of June. Pernia said that the project will be under the supervision of the National Electrification Administration and the Japanese contractor.
As part of Senator Lara de Lima's commitment to strengthen the criminal justice system, she filed a bill that seeks to increase the penalty of perjury and subornation of perjury, amending Articles 180, 183, and 184 of the revised Penal Code. The detained senator said it is now a high time to pump up the penalty for perjury and subornation of perjury following the recent instances of some personalities tracking back their statements or lying under oath, noting that some people who were trusted with the duty to see justice are the ones coercing and using government resources to manufacture lies. Under the revised Penal Code, perjury is punishable by arrest of mayor in its maximum period, that is 4 months and 1 day to 2 years in 4 months. Subornation of perjury, meanwhile, is not expressly penalized, but the direct induction of person by another to commit perjury is punishable under Article 183 in relation to Article 17. De Lima said she was detained due to alleged obvious manufactured evidence and perjured testimonies of convicted drug lords. Under her proposed measure, the penalty for perjury should be increased by 2 degrees or a jail term of 6 years and 1 day to 10 years. In addition, government officials or employees proven to have committed perjury and subornation of perjury shall be meted with higher penalty and will be perpetually disqualified from holding public office or employment.
The Philippine National Police or PNP is now ready for the implementation of its Oplan Summer Vacation or Oplan Sumvac 2017, where some 70,000 police personnel and volunteer force multiplier will be deployed in various areas of the country. Police Senior Superintendent Eugenio Pagirigan, Chief of the Statistics and Reports Division of the PNP Directorate for Operations, said that the Oplan Sumvac will begin on April 7 and will end on June 13. Pagirigan said that they will be working closely with force multipliers to strengthen the public safety operation and law enforcement in places of convergence, such as churches, malls, bus terminals, seaports, airports, major tourist destinations, and travel routes, among others.
Tama po yan. At ang ating mga kuwan nga po, ang ating kapulisan ay naatasan from the police regional officers and other officers involved in providing security services. Meron po silang itatatag na police assistance desk doon sa mga places of convergence.
On the other hand, the PNP has also mandated its regional commanders to assess the security situation in their respective areas, as well as the authority to declare a full alert status where all PNP personnel on leave will be advised to go on duty. The police force is not also discounting the possibility of a terror threat during the summer season.
Atin naman sa PNP po naman, hindi po natin na i-discount lahat yan. Isa yan sa mga challenges natin na ina-address ng ating kapulisan. So, we don't have to leave stone unturned. Ika nga, every possible issues, concerns, or threats coming from threat groups, it should be addressed properly by security forces. Hindi lang po PNP yan. Kasama po ang ating armed forces and other security providers ng ating bansa.
The police official also reminded the public to be always on alert and vigilant against possible threats.
In their proposal, they cited North Korea's missile and nuclear threats. Tokyo is expecting Pyongyang will further advance their nuke and missile upgrades, making their country increasingly vulnerable to the threats. In their proposal to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, the Liberal Democratic Party said that North Korea's active nuke activities are reaching levels that their country cannot just overlook, and that the government should look for ways to strike enemy bases if attacked, including the deployment of cruise missiles. Last year, the reclusive country has conducted 2 nuke tests and fired 4 ballistic missiles just this month, 3 of which landed off Japan's coast. The country's senior sports officials said they are targeting to have 20 medals, including at least 8 golds, at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics to make it in the top 4 of the medal table for the first time. If Seoul realizes its target for the next year's games, it will be surpassing its record gold tally of 6 medals at the 2006 Torino Olympics and at Vancouver 4 years ago, where they also won 6 silver medals and 2 bronze to finish 5th overall. Lee Jae-kun, the head of the National Training Center in Seoul, said that the key to achieving their goals is to turn some silver medals into gold ones.
Hindi pag-atake sa Philippine journalism ang naging mga payag ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte kaugnay nang naging talumpati nito kahapon sa isang event sa Palasyo. Paliwanag pa ni Presidential Spokesman Ernesto Abella, panawagan o paalala lamang ito ng Pangulong Duterte sa media na maging patas at huwag maging bias sa paglalahad ng balita sa publiko. Sa katunayan, anya, nakikiisa at umaayon ng Pangulong Duterte sa mga mamamahayag sa paggamit ng antagonistic words o termino sa ngalan ng check and balance at paglalahad ng katiwalian at pangabuso ng mga nasa gobyerno. Maging ang Pangulong Duterte nagsabi sa kanyang payag na nais niyang magpaka-behave pero kailangan maging patas naman ng paglalahad ng mga balita.
I don't think he'll be filing a formal complaint, but I think what he complains about is a question of fairness in the sense that for example, some matters are framed in particular way that caricatures his situation or caricatures certain situations. For example, the way the war on drugs was framed as against the war versus the poor. You know, it seems to imply that he is actually focusing on a particular class, which is hardly the point. But the way the media, that particular media, framed it, insinuates a particular bias, you know, which leans towards malice.
Nagpositibo sa paggamit ng shabu at marijuana ang Police Superintendent na naaresto kahapon. Ayon kay PNP Crime Laboratory Director Aurelio Trampe, gayunpaman, kailangan pa rin nila itong isailalim sa confirmatory test. May ulat si Kirby Cristobal.
Nagpositibo sa isinagawang initial drug test ng PNP Crime Lab sa Campo Crame sina Police Superintendent Lito Cabamongan, ang opisyal ng PNP na naaresto kahapon ng mga elemento ng Las Piñas Police at ang ginang na si Nedy Sabdao na naaktuhang nagpapat session sa Everlasting Homes Talon 4, Las Piñas City. Ito ang kinumpirma sa media sa pamamagitan ng isang text message ng hepe ng PNP Crime Laboratory Services na si Chief Inspector Aurelio Trampe. Ayon sa mensahe na ipinadala nito, positive sa initial test ng shabu at marijuana ang dalawa at magsasagawa pa ng confirmatory test kung saan ilalabas ang resulta sa susunod na linggo. Ang basihan ng PNP sa pagsibak sa pwesto ay dedepende sa resulta ng confirmatory test. Dagdag pa ng opisyal, mananatili muna ang kustodiya ni Cabamongan sa Las Piñas Police habang isinasagawa pa ang proseso. Kasalukuyan ngayong nasa Cagayan de Oro ang hepe ng PNP Crime Lab at binanggit nito na sa oras na lumabas ang resulta ng confirmatory test ay agad magsasagawa ng press briefing. Matatanda ang sinabi kahapon ni PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald De La Rosa na ipasisibak niya si Colonel Cabamongan matapos na masangkot ito sa paggamit ng iligal na droga.
Here's tonight's update. Police Superintendent Lito Cabamongan, arrested Thursday in Las Piñas City in the middle of a pot session, has named another law enforcer as his alleged drug supplier. Cabamongan has pointed to Police Chief Inspector Joselito Savares as his shabu supplier. This was, however, refuted by Chief Superintendent Aurelio Trampe, PNP Crime Laboratory Director, who has said that he has ordered Savares to keep an eye out for Cabamongan, who is the ex-chief of the PNP Alabang Crime Lab Satellite Office and has been reported to have been displaying questionable behavior and misconduct. Savares is the chief of the Intelligence Division of the PNP Crime Laboratory and, according to Trampe, was tasked to validate derogatory information against Cabamongan. Trampe further elaborated that Cabamongan has an axe to grind against Savares. Cabamongan yesterday tested positive for drug use, but results were subject to a confirmatory test. Cabamongan was set to undergo a neuropsychiatric evaluation today. The Department of Justice on Friday held a second preliminary investigation hearing on several complaints for the large-scale estafa case incidents against suspects behind the Rentangay car rental scam. Primary respondents Tai Chicos Nambio and Rafaela Anunciacion were present in the hearing. Anunciacion submitted 7 sets of counter-affidavits to refute the charges against her. The other personalities named in the complaint filed by the Philippine National Police Highway Patrol Group Unit 4A on behalf of the complainants are Marilu Cruz, Bienvenido Cruz, Roberto Cruz, Jeffrey Reyes, Edgardo S. Ramos, Alfredo Ronwilio, Ravenal Quizon, Eleanor Rosales, and Lorena Adriano from different parts of the country. They have alleged that the respondents recruited car owners and scammed them out of sums of money worth $25,000 monthly for sedan rentals, $30,000 monthly rentals for AUVs, and $45,000 monthly for SUV rentals. Nambio has failed to submit his counter-affidavits due to a non-receipt on the DOJ's summons after a change of address. They have until April 10 to submit these requirements.
Patay ang 10 miyembro ng New People's Army matapos makaengkwentro militar sa General Nakar sa Quezon at kay 2nd Infantry Division Major General Roderick Paraino nakasagupan ng tropa ng 80th Infantry Battalion. Ang mga rebeldeng NPA bandang alas 2 ng hapon sa Sitio Pahimuan, Barangay Lumutan. Samantala, 2 sundalo naman ang nasawi na kinilalang sina Sergeant Delson Zamora at Sergeant Bernard Rosete. Ang mga 2 sugatan na sundalo na sina Sergeant Franklin Peralta at Corporal Ruben Pawig naman ay agad na isinugod sa V. Luna Hospital. Kinilala ng Fitch and Moody's credit ratings ang patuloy na paganda ng ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Sa statement ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella, kasunod ng report ng Fitch, napanatili na Pilipinas ang investment grade status na BBB negative o ang pagkakaroon ng good credit quality. Ayon kay Belia, pagpapakita ito ng kakayahan ng Duterte administration na tugunan ang financial commitments para sa target na pagpapalago ng ekonomiya. Sa tala naman ng Moody's, umabot sa 6.5% ang forecast ito sa Philippine Gross Domestic Product ngayong taon. Ang pinakabagong report na ipinalabas ng Fitch at Moody's ay nasang makatutulong para sa paghikayat pa ng dagdag na pamumuhunan sa Pilipinas.
The Fitch report on the investment grade rating of the Philippines. A global leader in credit ratings and research, Fitch Ratings has given an investment grade of BBB- or good credit quality on the Philippines' capacity to pay for its financial commitments due to the constant drive of the Duterte administration to improve the country's economic growth. This means that the Philippines is able to enter a bigger market for debt offerings, and international lenders can be confident in offering loans to the Philippines. Fitch also noted the Philippines' strong economic growth, external creditor position, and low debt levels. The Philippines could join the global market without much cost.